All right. Without any further ado, time to bring on my partner from at Courtside with Sammy B and Lee and Q92 Sports, my man, Lee Foster, joining us live on the show today, the day after the Massillon Tigers win the state championship in Division II. Partner, how we doing today? Happy Monday.
Yeah, long time no see, buddy. It's been a few days. I know. Hours.
Now I won't see you until December.
Hey, I'm still in orange and black. I think I'm still coming down from the just the high of the weekend and how much fun that was and how exciting it was just be part of it. And I think when you're part of history and it's only going to happen so many times, I think it's pretty cool that we've been part of not one but two state champions in Stark County in the past 24 months.
Crazy. It's just absolutely crazy how that. Oh, look, you're just coming into view now. I can see you now with the orange and black. How good.
Yeah, I'm rocking it for him.
That's good. So I meant to tell you last night when I got home, because you left a little bit earlier than I.
Yeah.
I missed the turn coming home last night.
I'm not shocked, but some of the viewers might be.
I missed. Oh, well, nobody should be. I missed a turn off of 71, and it'll dawn on me like 5 minutes or 5 miles after it happens. Nope, not last night. I was squarely in Medina.
Were you?
I just kept going, kept driving.
You can hook all the way up there, just go all the way down and hit 76.
Oh, I know, but I just it was brutal. The gas tank was starting to blink. The temperature dropped 50 degrees from the time I left Dayton to the time I got through. It was brutal.
What time did you get home?
I got home at 8:55.
Oh my gosh, I was home at 6.
Yeah, got home at 8:55. But hey, what a weekend! What a weekend! And the crowds on Saturday and Sunday were fantastic, splitting the venues up. And if you could, let's just kind of we'll talk about this weekend, and then we'll put a wrap kind of on our whole basketball season before we part for the day. But what was your assessment? I guess the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, both venues, obviously the games, the atmosphere. Kind of go through that if you would.
Yeah, I think that obviously my first time, probably yours too, doing a game at Wright State at the Nutter Center.
Same.
I thought in terms of the arena, I would say probably a B-, but I would say in terms of the amenities for us, the space we had, the spot on the court, I thought that was all an A+. I thought the crowd was loud. It doesn't hold near as many people as UD Arena, so I think you can kind of hear the echoes. And Lima Senior brought in a ton of people. Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock. So, and then move over to UD. Obviously, it's just kind of what we were used to from last year. I'd love to see all the games just be played at UD, but I know with 7 divisions now, logistically that doesn't work, and they wanted to get everybody the state Final Four experience in Dayton, which I think is great. So, all in all, I thought was it was very well done. I thought the people that worked it were professional, and obviously we have sweet taste in our mouth because the team we were down there to see won both games and hoisted that state championship trophy.
I've been looking for the final box score of the Lima Massillon game because it'll give you the time the game starts, the game duration, and it'll give you the attendance. I can't find it anywhere.
I've got it. Hold on.
But
I don't know. Do they put attendance in here still?
Yes, they're supposed to.
Let's see.
And we were kind of guessing we thought maybe 6,500, maybe 75. It was hard for us to figure out. But the Wright State was really, really good on Saturday.
Oh yeah.
But I do have the sheet from the game yesterday.
Okay.
Would it surprise you if I told you the official attendance from the Massillon Westerville North game?
Okay.
4,642.
That's it?
That's what they reported.
How many people snuck in?
I don't know. How many entrances are there to get in that place?
Wow.
I thought that was a little crazy, but that's the number that they put on the print. So,
yeah. I don't see it on this one. We'll track this down at some point so we can get it to you, but I would assume there was certainly more there on Saturday then, because there had to be.
Yeah, because Lima, I mean, they filled swept that whole place. That was crazy.
I thought it was harder to judge at UD because there's kind of the two tiers that we were kind of on the floor and they're back behind us. We can't really see, but I thought the crowd was good. It was certainly loud in there.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe the game times throw some people off or people didn't come back, but I thought the both atmospheres were electric, and I thought it seemed like there were just as many there Sunday as there were Saturday.
Yeah, I thought so. Now I see our guy. He did take the job at Cincinnati, Coach Calhoun.
It's done.
Just seeing it right now. Yeah, Cincinnati set to hire Utah basketball coach Jared Calhoun, next coach courtesy of Pete Nokos on 3 Sports, and it's starting to make its rounds.
Yeah.
Man, I kind of hoping he was coming to Columbus, but oh well.
Yeah, we kind of had an inkling a few days ago. Like I'm in a group chat with Jared, so obviously pumped for him. He's done a great job everywhere he's been. He's a builder, he's a winner, and he's a worker. So I think the Bearcats basketball team will be on the rise in the next few years.
No doubt. Okay, we got that little side note in real quick. So, what did you think of? Do you think this is going to be the way they're just going to do this moving forward? Obviously, the OHSAA is probably not. I'm not going to say not ever, but I'm going to say not in the near future going to go away from the 7 divisions, and you're going to have to keep using alternate venues. Or do you think this is going to work long term? What kind of feedback do you get from other people that you talk to that go down and say this is good, this is not good? What are they saying?
I feel like there's 2 tiers. I guess a 2-tiered approach to this. One, the old school people like us that love St. John's Arena, love Columbus, love being centrally located in the old format with 4 divisions. And I think there's the new school people that might have kids that are grade school, middle school, just getting into high school that are new to the state tournament. And I think they love it. So I think I don't know if you could get a straight answer on each individual person what they like, but I think it's probably 50-50. And as long as we stay 7 divisions, I'm going to guess that this format is going to stick at least for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I would think so. Lee Foster is our guest at Courtside with Sammy B and Lee, of course, Q92 Sports, and we were happy to bring you all kinds of great basketball all season long on our sister station, Q92, and all of our social media platforms. And, of course, we had a great weekend. Tigers won the state championship. Talk about this Massillon team, Shooter. They only lost 1 game all year. You saw it. A Connor Duel 3 by Hoover beat the Massillon Tigers in Massillon. They would never lose again. Talk about that run.
I think it's just unbelievable. I mean, obviously at that time when Hoover beat them, those guys were coming off of, and I tell Hoover's coach, Mike Louie, this, that, hey, you caught them at the right time. They're 3 or 4 weeks out of football season. You caught them early. It was very similar. Now the outcome was different, but it was very similar to the state championship game where Hoover was up 17 at one point, and in the last quarter, Massillon made this furious comeback. I'm like, holy cow, here they come. The pressure came up, and obviously they fell 1 possession short, and Newell hit the buzzer beater. But it's unbelievable. I mean, to beat McKinley, to beat Jackson, to beat Alliance at Alliance, to beat Euclid, to beat Lima Senior, to beat Westerville North. I mean, the path that they got from the regional on was very, very difficult, and they just, those kids, whatever in the water over there in TIG country, they just rose to the occasion every time the moment was bigger. They seemed to play their best, and I couldn't be happier for Coach Hose and the whole Massillon community.
We talked a couple times during the game yesterday, and during some of the commercial breaks, and when they were down 45-30, I wasn't stressing. I wasn't, because we've seen what this team does. We know what they can do. They just need to be put to the outer limits before they start circling the wagons. But, man, to come back like that, and I had a feeling they were going to, but to do it on the biggest stage, the brightest lights, and people forget, Westerville North is your defending state champions with just about everybody back, and they still were able to pull it off.
Yeah, I was nervous. I thought when it got to 15, I thought Westerville North hadn't been there for the 3rd time in a row, having won it last year, how they got that lead. I thought they were either going to stretch it or hold it and just be able to kind of grind it out, and it didn't happen. Again, Massillon rose, and what an ending. The Xavier Williams block to overtime to, the run out for a layup with 10, 12 seconds left, the missed shots. It was just a magical ending. And I think they'll be talking about this one in not just Massillon, but Stark County for a long time.
Oh, absolutely they will. And how about, and I felt so bad for the young man, Isaiah Lamp, got dinged up He wasn't allowed to come back in. He played 25 minutes and change, but he was their quarterback on the floor. They needed him out there, and they were able to pursue without him. But talk about what that young man brought to this team and this program, and just he was the leader of the ship out there, wasn't he?
Well, yeah, and I thought especially even against Lima Senior, he was kind of that way. They had the incident where the technical foul was called, and he kind of like huddled him up. It's like old school Wojo at Duke, right? He grabs them, he rallies the troops, he kept them even keel. And I think as a senior point guard, that's what you need. Now, his statistics wouldn't tell you that he was the player of the game Saturday, but we gave it to him. I thought he was so important to that group, and I thought he was so important to that run in the state championship. He made the corner three, the three at the top of the key. I mean, without those two shots, they don't win the game. And obviously, I felt horrible for the kid taking a knee to the head or hitting his head off the floor, whichever one occurred first, where he couldn't return. And I thought in overtime that was going to be backbreaking because they didn't have their point guard out there. So for those other guys to step up, and there's a couple crazy stats, and we talked about it a little bit at the broadcast, but they gave up 34 offensive rebounds, by the way. 34. I don't know that I've ever – 34 offensive rebounds, and they turned the ball over 22 times.
And won.
To do those two things and win is remarkable. And on the weekend, the two games, Lima Senior and Westerville North combined shot 7 of 61 from three-point range, 11%. So kudos to their defense for getting out there and contesting shots and high flying, because they don't let anybody get comfortable and just stand out there and let it fly.
Those are some wild stats. We're going to look at that 10, 15, 20 years down the line. They're going to say, how in the hell did that happen? Right. But you know what? Basketball is a funny game, and you just need to push yourself a little bit. They created some turnovers. They were dogs, man. They played like absolute dogs this weekend. I think that was the funnest part of it.
Well, be careful using that line. They were Tigers.
They were. I know.
Hey,
they were dogs.
Hey, somebody will be in the chat group here in a second talking about they weren't. They were Tigers.
I'm waiting for it. It's coming.
So
this team, obviously, they'll go down in history. They're the first ones to do it. They got there in 37. They got there in 45. They got there in 2026, and they finally got it done. Now, and Josh said something. I forget where I saw it. It was an article somewhere. He says, Massillon is a football school. It will always be a football school. But the basketball team won the Division II state championship. I don't think I could have said it any better myself, because that's just the way of the world. That's just the way that it is there. But I'm going to tell you what, this has to shoot some incredible juice and electricity into that school, into that district, that, yes, you can win at basketball, and you probably might do it again someday.
And they bring a nucleus back next year that I think is outstanding. Gamble Williams and Geo Jackson all come back. Garner comes back. Wells comes back. And I think they've got 2 or 3 kids off that JV team that are exceptional. A little point guard, the Pierce boys, about 6'5". I mean, I think they got to be top 5 in the state coming back in Division II. Now, the D4 format, and they have to be Division I. Does this happen? I don't know. But are you going to bet against those guys when the chips are down in the tournament? I don't think so.
No, I would never bet against that team or the way that they play. They believe that no matter what, they can go out there and they can handle business. And hey, look, when you beat Lima Senior and Westerville North in 48 hours, you deserve to be champions.
They were challenging. I think, to your point, to circle back about Josh Hose and his statements, I think there's such an important piece of hiring your own at certain places, right? Massillon is different. Massillon is special. Massillon's tradition. Massillon's a city of a lot of pride, and he understands the dynamic of how it works. There's guys that have came in there and wanted it to be a basketball school. He understands what's first, and he understands the pecking order, and he played both, so he fully gets it. So I think Massillon did a great job hiring him. He obviously was very successful as the girls coach with the Mustangs over at Tuslaw for a number of years. And I think them hiring one of their own has now paid dividends, what they've been able to do on the hardwood.
No doubt. I know they had a little celebration at Duncan Plaza last night, a little impromptu, if you will.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool to see. I saw some videos online about that, and I'm sure they'll have a big celebration with the school and the students in the city, and we looking forward to that as well. Partner, I got about 3.5, 4 if I stretch it here. Let's just take a look back at the entire body of work, if you will, of this past high school basketball season. We were lucky enough to call games every Tuesday and Friday on Q92, our sister station, and all over the social media platforms. We saw some great games. We saw some fun regular season games. We saw some great tournament games. But what will you remember most about this last campaign putting the headset on?
Yeah, I think it's got to be probably the funnest thing was getting to go to College of Worcester and doing those two games. And Euclid, our game was obviously nuts. But when they win and they're going to the Final Four, we kind of know, hey, we're going to. And then to top it off with the crown and the championship and do all that. But we had a great year. I thought that our all Courtside teams were spot on. I mean, we picked our coach of the year well before Massillon made this run. And it turns out we were spot on there. And J.R. Jackson at Alliance led the county in scoring. Like 19 and a half a game. He's going to Walsh. So he was our player of the year. We saw so many great games, so many great teams. And we want to thank, too, just the coaches, the players, and everybody that interacts, with us, because we couldn't do it, number one, without our sponsors, number one, without, number two, without all our support at Q92. And number three, the support we get from the community, just the basketball community has been awesome.
Yeah, it was so much fun. It goes so fast. You and I talked about it. We started with McKinley and St. V. It was a little weather game. We had to switch venues, and then we did Perry Louisville that weekend, the meeting of the two defending state champions in Division II and III, and we cap it off with a state title in Dayton less than 24 hours ago. So I would say it was a pretty good year.
Hey, Courtside karma's real, buddy. 2 in a row. And who's going to get there next year? Somebody else's turn, maybe a different division. But I think we got a lot of good basketball teams coming back. I think the Federal League will be way more competitive top to bottom. And obviously Massillon's going to be right there knocking on the doorstep again to make another run in Division II.
They sure are. All right, partner. Love working with you. You know that. Appreciate everything you bring to the table. Again, it goes so darn fast, but you know what? It'll be here before you know it, and we'll be ready to rock again. Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Love you too, buddy. We'll talk soon.
Take care. There he goes. Lee Foster, Courtside with Sammy B and Lee, and of course, Q92 Sports. That's my guy there. We partnered up all season long, and we were very thankful for all the support we get here and all the support from you all year long. We certainly couldn't do it without you.